The idea of toxic relationship has been thrown around a lot. What makes a relationship really toxic is what we're going to be finding out today on the show. Welcome to the Talk with Ini, and I'm your host, Ini Ime Sunday. And on this show today, we're going to be talking about toxic relationship. What do you feel makes a relationship toxic? Is it your friends? Is it your married partner? Is it your spouse? Whoever you think it is, we'll be finding out more on this show. And on this show today, I'm going to be interviewing a very interesting person. But before then, let's take a five. In case you're just joining us, this is the Talk with Ini. And like I said earlier on, we're going to be talking about toxic relationship. What makes a relationship toxic? What makes your girlfriend hates you? What makes your boyfriend hates you? Whatever it is, we're going to be finding out more on the show. And I have a person that I'm going to be introducing to you guys today by name Peter Joshua. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Ini.
It's nice to have you. I like what you're wearing.
Thank you. You just have to represent actually.
Wait, are you going for a red carpet shoot? Because
It's more like what we are in right now.
nice. It's nice to
Thank
have
you.
you on the show once more.
Thank you.
So we're going to be talking about toxic relationship. What do you understand by toxic relationship?
By that single word toxic, like wherever you hear, whether it's for food or for anything, it's just something not good for your body, unhealthy, maybe things that make you sick or something. That's in a general term. But when you talk about relationship and being toxic, we're also referring to relationships that are not good for you, relationships that are harmful to your emotional, psychological, and even physical well-being. Yes.
Have you ever had an experience of a toxic relationship?
Everybody, I must say, everybody must have. Yes, I have. Yes.
Please, do you mind sharing?
It's more like it's more like okay, talking about this relationship. We know we have the ones we have with our parents, the one we have with our siblings, the one we have with someone we call our close partners, either your wife or your girlfriend as a man, and then as a woman you have your boyfriend, and also you have your husband. Now, being toxic, sometimes this thing is clothed with expectations that you don't really know where they are coming from, and then people really want to like there's something I was reading sometimes, and then they said it comes in form of being controlling, and then telling you this is what I really want you to do, this is what I really want you not to do, and then you find that in that situation they're trying to deprive you from being who you're supposed to be or who you have actually believed you are, and then okay.
Yeah, families today find it really difficult to relate to the fact that parents can actually be toxic to their children.
Exactly.
Yes. So I
Exactly.
want you to expatiate on that aspect. Have you had a relationship like that with your parents?
Yet, growing up wasn't really very juicy for me. Yes, in as much as I have a very loving parents, they thought I was in the way of the Lord. Yes, but they had greater expectations. I grew up meeting expectations upon expectations. Like, okay, take the first position this time, and then if you take the first position, they will tell you this is not taught them. Just move a lot further, and then maybe when you take the first position in talk them, they will not tell you, no, I feel your average is low, so increase your average. And then by all this you'll be pushing and nobody's appreciating what you're doing, and it's depleting the the uh, the esteem that you have.
Yeah.
Maybe you feel like I'm doing well. If you come to the class, you're being seen as a brave, genius guy, but at home you're seen like nothing, guy. You're not doing anything. So it became like, guy, you don't know what you're doing.
I understand that. I've had an experience personally with that. Normally, when I was growing up,
Okay.
that primary school session you undergo and all
Yes.
of that, I always come third. And my dad would be like, growing up, I never took third position. It was first only. Parents
those,
in
all those
Nigeria, they
parents
never
talk.
come second. They never come third of what? First position.
All
So
those
please,
parents talk, yeah.
back to relationship terms. Have you had a toxic relationship? When I mean toxic, I mean maybe your spouse, your girlfriend is actually making you do things that you're not supposed to do, and that made you feel really bad and unhappy.
Oh, coming up. Really, I know why I'm smiling, because I know I've had one experience that I will never forget in my life.
Oh,
To
please.
the very extent that I had to kneel down for this babe.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay,
I
please.
literally had to beg, because there are certain things that, as a believer or as people who model, let's say, who model we want to be a model. Let me put it that way. We want to be a model to the society as regards our relationship. And then there are certain things we're supposed not to do. There are certain boundaries we've agreed that we're not going to cross. If we're having an issue now, we agree that we cannot sleep without settling the issue. Do you understand that? Now, in this particular scenario, you have some things to do with your ex, and then you are still calling. Okay, you call me babe, and you feel that that word is very special. It's supposed to be special to me,
Yeah.
and then you're also calling babe to a lot of guys out there. And then you're having some conversations that's supposed not to happen if there is boundaries, and then you expect me to believe that that they are your male friends and I'm preventing you from doing business just because you're dating me. So you know when someone looks down on you indirectly, and then the toxicity in this regard comes to the way she talks to you, the disrespect which they don't even know is a disrespect. Because at some point they will feel like you're not understanding me, and then at some point we need to understand each other, yes. But at this point, these are things we've agreed and said we are not going to do. And in this relationship, for this relationship to toxicity doesn't really mean that you're having a physical fight. It might be an emotional blackmail. Someone can just wake up one day and just because she knows that if she presents this way, you're surely going to fall a victim, or you're surely going to say, okay, I've begged for situations I know nothing about. You wronged me, I'll be the one to beg. I wronged you, I'll be the one to beg. I would just want a situation where things are just normal for us. But all the same, you feel like I'm not doing my best. So what do I do at this point? I just have to say, okay, at this point, everybody should just settle down, go look for what you want.
Okay.
And yes.
So if you're to advise our audience out there,
Okay.
do you advise them to stay in a toxic relationship, or you advise them to quit, or if there are possible solutions you can actually provide to them so they could go ahead with it?
Okay.
Because so many, out there are people who are suffering emotionally, mentally. It drains them a lot. One way or the other, it might not be the girlfriend. It might be just a normal friendship that you
Yes.
share. You
Yes.
understand? But then there's toxicity in it. So instead of you leaving that relationship, it drains you. So are you telling them to leave, or if there are possible ways that they could actually work it out, they should go ahead and do it?
Yeah, possibly there are ways to work out a toxic relationship.
Okay, use your
But-
own experience now to explain to them how to go about it, because
Okay.
we want to give them something as a reference.
Okay.
Yes.
Like, if you are experiencing a toxic relationship anywhere, I will advise for us to sit down and talk. Because we are separate beings with separate ways of approaching things. But in my own situation, I discovered, okay, this is how she is and this is how I am. So we decided to have a talk over the situation. And so far as we've talked, and another thing I consider very important is having a mentor over you, which I fought, and I saw that it wasn't really something she cared about. Okay, if you have someone that you will report if I do anything wrong, and that person will call me, just a phone call, and I'm on my knees begging, then at least I should know that it shouldn't get to the point where you have to report me to my mentor, to my parents, to my pastor. But wherein you don't even have anybody, an authority over you, that's where you can do anything and get away with it. You say, this is how I am, this is who I am, I can't change. Whereas there are some things you need to do if you want to be free from every toxic experience in your relationship. You need to first of all accept the fact that if there's something I'm doing that is wrong, yes, I'm wrong. This is where it starts from. Identifying the problem.
Okay.
So once you identify the problem, and then the two of you have an agreement to say, we are going to solve this situation. This is the step 2. And then the step 3 entails going further to seek help, either from a therapist or from your mentor, and if you've done all these things, or your pastor or anybody who you hold in high esteem, but if you've done all these things and things are still repeating, I will advise that it's not marriage. Thank God it's not marriage. So you can at least give each other a break.
Okay, fine. This is not on marital aspect.
Yes,
There are so
exactly.
many people who are in marriages today that is toxic.
Very
the relationship is very much, and the funniest thing about this toxicity is it gives birth to domestic violence.
Domestic violence,
It
emotional
starts-
instability.
It's a process.
Yes.
It's a process. It starts gradually, and some of this toxic relationship starts from growing up. Growing up as a child, you didn't have that love, you didn't have that treatment
Exactly.
that is good from either your parents or from your siblings. You grew up
Exactly.
with that mindset.
Yeah.
And then instead of you looking for help, so many of us are undergoing so much in life that we don't think we need help.
Very true.
I think as youths today, we don't have that mindset of seeking for help or therapy.
Exactly.
So many of us believe today that we can actually just handle it. We'll just bottle up and then think we are okay. But mentally, emotionally,
not.
it drains us.
Yeah.
So in marital aspects today, once they've looked for possible solution like a mentor,
Yeah.
a pastor, whoever it is that is a superior over them, to go ahead and help them give solutions to what it is or which process of healing they're supposed to undergo,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work out. Are you saying they should quit that relationship?
Okay, because it's marriage, and then if we come to if they are Christians, there are certain rules, and then one of it is that the only thing or the only reason why you should put away your wife is simply because she had an affair with another man. I think that's the one that Christians can really relate with and say, okay, this is the reason why. But aside that, every other thing can be worked out.
There are
Yeah.
irreconcilable differences.
There are irreconcilable, but they will tell you why do you need to see it before you enter the relationship, and that's one thing.
There are some that cannot be visible. I mean, I've seen
Okay.
there were cases whereby somebody pretended for a whole year
A
to
whole
date
year,
a girl.
okay.
Yes, this person is a chain smoker.
Okay.
He repented for a whole year. What I mean is
Okay.
he does not go close to. He acts as if this particular thing is harmful to his system.
Okay.
Do you understand
Yeah.
it? After marrying this girl, a week later, he started exhibiting those things he dropped initially that he was not doing. So you can't be too sure of all these things.
These are things that I understand where you're coming from, and as a guy I can tell you, yes, there are some things we can actually bottle up for a while just to get the babe that we need. There are some sincere changes, and there are some that are just let's just do it so that she will perceive us in this manner and in
Have
this light.
you had a
No,
sincere
no,
change?
no, I can't. Yes, there is sincere change.
For a girl?
Yes, actually, yes.
Okay.
The girl I dated, she was my first ever relationship because I grew up with this mindset. My mom will always tell us that two things kill a man: either a woman or money. The wrong pursuit for money and the wrong woman. These are the two things that kill a man. So I was of that built up this fear in my head. So whenever I see women, I see that guy. I don't want to die now. So since
Are you serious? You have that fear?
yeah, I
Then?
grew up. Yes, I grew up
I
like that.
find that really offensive. Too.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
but
we're loving beings,
yeah, no. My first book, actually, the first book I ever wrote, which I sold to somebody, was about women. It's called The Last Creature.
Please tell me about the book.
It's called The Last Creature. It's talking about a woman being a blessing and not the person who brought curse upon men. As we've seen that she's the first person the devil had to go to eat the fruit.
In our mind, it's an apple. It's actually a
It's not an apple. It's just like a fruit that wasn't given a name, but the Bible called it the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil.
Okay, I think we're snapping out of our main topic.
Okay, yes.
Please, back to toxicity.
Yes.
Yes. What are those things that you've done for a girl that you feel on a normal day I can never do this particular?
Oh wow, kneeling down for a girl, crying for a girl.
Would you ever do that again?
I can't. I won't.
Why?
We'll find a better way to handle things than to kneel down. I've tricked for a girl. I don't know if our listeners will know where Jos is. I've trekked from Terminus to Zaramaganda just for a girl.
Wow.
Just for a girl.
How touching. Oh my. So, to our viewers out there, if you're just tuning in, this is The Talk with Ini, and we've been talking about toxic relationship. What are those things that leads to toxicity in a relationship? Is it the way we talk? Is it the way we handle things? Is it the way we make them unhappy? We're getting more to find out. Please, if you want to talk with Ini, kindly send us a DM to our Instagram page, follow our YouTube channel at The Talk with Ini, as well as subscribing. Welcome back to The Talk with Ini. In case you're just tuning in, this is The Talk with Ini, and we've been discussing about toxic relationship with an amazing person here, Peter Joshua.
Thank you.
So please, if by chance a relationship gets to that point that it starts involving domestic violence, what would you advise those partners to do?
First, I will tell you to separate.
Straight up.
Yes.
There are no possible solutions to it.
Because for you to graduate from the stuffs you guys do with words and it, because it starts from somewhere. Nobody can just wake up one early morning and start beating you. You know, there is this. If you're from the Igbo extraction, you would discover that there's some things the guys there learned, but is no longer in vogue right now because I'm Igbo. I will tell you the truth.
Okay.
But we believe that the guy is superior to the lady. Do you understand? Yeah. But now in this point and season where ladies are fighting to have the same equal rights with the guys. Now, wherein you've seen that your guy is growing from maybe having to have little quarrels with that's conversational quarrel
Yes.
into having a physical demonstration of anger, because some people bottle up some things. Some guys easily get angry, and funny enough, ladies beat guys. I've seen.
Okay.
I've seen where a lady walked up to her boyfriend's office and slapped him, a doctor, because he did not return home on time the previous night. So
Yeah.
you can imagine when things graduate into something like this. I simply advise. I'm not saying you guys should go separate ways, but there's a period of time where we say, okay, let's take a break. Let's understudy our relationship. Let's find out where the root cause of things. I saw somewhere where a lady and her guy had a problem, and it was the lady's fault. The next morning, the lady had to take him to a restaurant so they can be able to settle their dispute. So something like this can actually be advised. But wherein this is getting, because there are some who has fallen in love with the bondage. I have to come to that. I have to come through that angle again. Some
Yes.
ladies are falling in love with
That
the
is a very
bondage.
sensitive
Yes.
thing, because I've seen a relationship whereby this one is something I've witnessed with my eyes, that her boyfriend comes to the house, flog her. Do you understand it? Flogs her because maybe he sees her passing and
Okay.
somebody's talking to her. He doesn't even know
No,
what
what's called-
intention.
exactly,
You understand?
exactly.
So the way she was saying it, she was not saying it as if she's feeling bad about it.
Exactly.
She's now saying it as if he has that
Right and authority,
right,
which
exactly.
is wrong.
He was flogging her. I mean, flogging.
Are you my
like
father?
A child.
You
Do
cannot do
understand
that
it?
to me.
So I was like, are you okay? You're saying this thing with so much joy. You understand?
And it's wrong.
So those people, do you think they are mentally not okay?
I
Because
feel they are falling in love with the bondage.
right.
Yes, because there are at some points in life where things happen to you and you felt like you call it love, and then you felt like since I cannot control this, it's my destiny, so let me go with it. Some ladies are like that.
I mean, on the boyfriend and girlfriend
Even
level.
on that level.
There is another one again
okay.
that I have seen. She came to a shop with a broken arm. I was like,
Oh.
okay, what happened? That she and her boyfriend fought. She actually used something to hit him on the forehead, and him too. He ended up breaking her. They loved themselves. One of the lady that was her friend was like, don't worry, this one you've not even seen anything. Tomorrow you
Wow.
see them together, and it's like, does
Wow.
it have to kill you before you come out of it?
There are certain things that they have not looked into. You know, in relationships, that's why I will always come to the angle where they tell you there's some things you need to avoid. Like all those premarital sex things. There's some people who sex is their bond. I know people who smoking is their bond. In as much as they are facing domestic violence experiences, they won't want to leave, because that euphoria, that moment, that little moment where they have fun is registered in their head as no one else can give them such fun. So even if this guy is beating me, even one I'm counseling just of recent, she's telling me that she's the cause. In fact, the guy is telling her that she is the cause of all the problem he's going through in his life, and you're still there. If you're the cause of this guy's problem, why not let him be? Do you understand? If the guy comes to you and tell you you are the cause of my problem, and you're begging and you're still in that same relationship, tomorrow he comes, he talks to you, he raises his hand, he beats you, you guys will still do some things together, and then he will go. The next day you feel like, okay, you see him walking and talking with girls, but you can't do that. You can't talk with guys. And then there are some boundaries. You know, there are some things, there's some emotional imbalances that we grew up with from environments where you're coming from, like this beating. And then when you talked about 1 year hiding some things, I feel nobody can be that perfect to hide things for complete 1 year without noticing. It's either she was blinded by the good stuff that he's doing, not to notice the bad ones, because at some point he must have, there must be a loose point. There must be. That's why if they want to tell you, they will tell you pray with one eye closed and the other eye open.
And
So yes.
sorry to cut you short.
Yeah.
There is this trend ongoing now that a parent will tell you nobody is perfect out there.
Exactly.
Be it a guy, be it a lady.
Exactly.
But then there are certain attributes you see in somebody that you'll be like, this is a red flag for me.
Exactly.
When I get into relationship with this particular person, I'm actually going to suffer. But they will tell you, we've lived with it. Can't you see the way we are? You understand? They push their children into such relationship, and to a certain limit, it costs them their lives.
Exactly.
So I think parents out there should learn to understand that aside what they can handle,
Yes.
children of nowadays don't have that emotional stability.
Yes,
You
exactly,
understand?
yes.
And then there are people who you don't know what triggers them.
Exactly.
Before you get to know it, they've laid their hands on you, and then it has occurred to
started
something
already.
different. It's entirely going to be a different story, and before you say anything, the person is already gone. You can't reverse what has happened.
Yes.
So I think parents should actually play their role as well in advising their children. I mean, you cannot go to the house or you can't be in the relationship with the child, but the highest thing you could do is to show the child the way to go.
Yes.
The right path.
Yes.
Not telling the child that there's nobody perfect out there. You understand it.
Yes.
So it has been an amazing session with you. I
Thank you
really
very
enjoyed
much.
it. Thank you for coming to the
Thank
Talk
you.
with Edie, and we hope to see you more often on the show.
I will be. Thank you.
So, it has been an amazing session talking about toxic relationship. What is your toxicity? Is it the way the person talks to you? Is it the way the person does the things that you don't like? What makes you unhappy in a relationship? You don't have to stick to a relationship that is taking a lot from you. If you cannot settle your irreconcilable differences, be it between your friends, be it between your spouse, or be it between your marriage partners, I feel you should look for an external help. And remember, this is not a professional advice. Do what makes you happy, but stay away from toxicity. It has a way of being contagious to you. If you're just joining us, this is The Talk with Ini, and if you feel you have what it takes to talk with Ini, kindly follow our Instagram page at The Talk with Ini. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Talk with Ini. I'll see you guys next time.